All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions. Continue our retro pay-per-view review series. This is going to be WWF Capital Carnage in 1998. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's get into it. This is right after Survivor Series
Mm-hmm.
98 Deadly Games.
Deadly game.
So this is Rock's first pay-per-view title defense. It was supposed to be against Triple H. We'll get into that later on. They decided to change it last minute. I think it was for the benefit of Triple H because he was just coming back from his knee injury. That's
I don't know. He
that
still
that's
wrestled
the
though. I mean, he still
yeah.
wrestled. I think they just did it just to hold off that feud, hold off that
And
match. Why would you
it's a
waste
shame.
it? Why would you waste
Yeah,
it
that's
at a
true.
UK only pay-per-view? It doesn't make sense.
It's a shame that they never did it during Rock's title reign. Like they only focused on Mankind when he still had that
Yeah,
feud going with Triple H.
yeah. I mean, we can't really complain because the Mankind feud was tremendous, and then
Oh
the
no, it was
Stone
great.
Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like,
Anyway, December 6th, 1998, from London, England. 10,441 on hand for this one. Jr. and Jerry King Lawler doing the commentary on this one. Normally, when you go over and do these overseas events, they kind of try to do something new. Different matches, something that they haven't seen before. But this just seemed to me like the same old. Like they just threw together the last two pay-per-views and
yeah,
said, "Here, let's just do this."
this was a glorified house show.
Yeah, especially the main event, which we've already seen these guys over the last few months beat the crap out of each other, and yet we're going to see it again in the main event. The WWF Championship is not even the main event, so he doesn't get the main event here. He doesn't get the main event at his own pay-per-view.
You
What
know
are we
what's
doing here?
interesting? So, I mean, this is like just me kind of nitpicking. If you look closely at the poster for this event, the VHS cover and all of that stuff, you can actually see that Stone Cold actually has the belt. The belt is kind of sticking out on his shoulder. It's still there. You gotta look closely, but it's still there. I'm like, these lazy Photoshop people over there, they couldn't even, they just took a Stone Cold poster and just pasted it there and like, well, we'll try to like cover it as much as we can. But
Yeah, that didn't work.
yeah.
I do own the Capital Carnage VHS tape, and mainly for one reason. And when we get to
Mm.
that reason, I'll talk about it. So here we go. Opening match of the night: Al Snow versus Gangrel. Uh, Pretty much nothing special in this match at all. Edge and Christian came out. The Brood naturally, to be in the corner of Gangrel.
I
During the
love that
match
theme
they came
song,
out.
man. I love that theme song,
Oh
the
yeah,
Brood.
definitely.
Yeah, it's good
Oh,
stuff.
to this day, man. If I hear it, I enjoy it. Naturally, during this match, Christian had the ref distracted, so Al Snow hit Gangrel with head, but then Edge hits him with a missile drop kick off the top rope on Al Snow, and Gangrel gets the pin, so the Brood get the victory here. It's funny because Gangrel is the heel in this match, but
Yeah.
Christian and Edge are going to be fan favorites in their match pretty much later on. So I don't know what's
I mean,
going on there exactly.
I mean, they
But
were
it's the
still,
Attitude Era. Everybody's a heel and fan
yeah.
favorite week to week, so it don't really
I
matter.
mean, I think Edge was still. I haven't seen this stuff in so many years. I think Edge was still. He was kind of working with the Brood just because of his brother. I don't think he turned full heel yet. I could be wrong. Do you remember? Because I remember Edge was a baby face. Then he turns heel with the Brood,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
he
once
comes
the corporate ministry bounced them,
right.
then they become fan favorites. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
there
remember.
was a brief heel turn there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
Because Christian was a
he
heel in the beginning. Christian was a heel right out of the gate with Gangrel.
yeah,
They were
and
heels.
it's weird because on this night he's teaming with Sable to face Mark Merrow and Jacqueline. So it doesn't make any sense. But
Nice.
like I
The
said, it's the
UK is a
Attitude Era. Everybody's facing everybody at this point. It
and the
doesn't
U
really
and
matter.
this is a UK event, so it's like parallel universe. This is like an alternate timeline over there.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Anyway, they showed after this the segment. They showed Mankind in the boiler room talking
Mhm.
about his fatal four-way match. It's going to be Austin versus
Mhm.
Undertaker versus Kane versus Mankind. Like we haven't seen this through most of, if
Yeah.
not all of, 1998. So I was looking for at least a shakeup, at least for a main event for this one.
Mhm.
But I guess they gave the hottest feud to the UK fans to show it off because the feud between Austin and Taker was boiling at this point to culminate at rock bottom in a few weeks. So our next match on the card was a snooze fest too. It was the Headbangers, who are technically heels, versus the Legion of Doom, who are being booed out of the arena because it's Animal
Well,
and Droz.
yeah.
And they show 3 weeks prior, and I don't know why they had to show this, and I did not like when they did this. I remember this Raw segment when Hawk climbs up the Titantron as if he's going to commit suicide. Droz climbs up there after him and pushes him. I mean, he makes it look like he's trying to hold, grab him, but you can
I
tell he
remember
pushed
watching
him.
that.
I
That's
did
when
not like that
that's when Hawk was a
segment.
drunk and
Yeah, I did. This was bullcrap, man. I
yeah.
did this.
They leave Animal leaves after this, right? I don't think he's around too much longer. I can't remember.
Their last match was a I don't know if it was a Sunday Night Heat match or a pre-show match to WrestleMania 15, and that
Okay.
was it.
But they had left already though, right? And then they came back just for that match. I can't remember. It's so long ago.
they were there. They were just not used.
Okay.
The fans during the I love this. The fans were chanting, "We want Hawk" during this match, and they were
Sorry,
talking
Draws.
about, yeah, well, the hell with him. Just like we remember, we're also going to get another bootleg Legion of Doom in
Oh
2005
Lord
when you had
Jesus. Oh Lord
Animal and
Jesus.
Heidenreich
Dude, I
as the
that,
Legion of Doom.
as far as I'm concerned, it never happened. That
If
just it never
I've never
happened.
looked it up to see what the Legion of Doom members fully are, but in my mind, it's only Hawk, Animal, Paul Ellering. That's it.
That's it. Yeah,
Nobody
that's
else
it.
was in
Yeah,
that group. I don't care. There's no Dusty. There's no Sting. There's no Draws, and sure as hell ain't no Heidenreich. That's just
yeah. That doesn't work for me.
you're just trying to live off a legacy here, and you're tarnishing it at that. And
LOD
this was
2000.
embarrassing.
This is LOD 2000.
Yeah, but they would just announce as just Legion of Doom, which made it
Yeah.
even worse.
No.
If you do LOD 2000, all right, fine. But and of course they were talking about how Draws was always hot-headed and cocky, trying to prove that he is the dominant force of the tag team, which we already know he's not. But Animal's also like 20 pounds overweight at this point too. The ref distracted by Animal during this, and Draws, the ref was distracted. Animal and Draws kind of did the old famous
Hmm.
switch. It didn't work because Draws was rolled up by Mosh, and he gets the pin. So Draws, who thinks, I know everything, I got this, gets the pin, and they try to tell the referee, no, I wasn't the legal man. Doesn't matter. Headbangers beat the Legion of Doom, and that's it. And
And nobody cared.
nobody really, at this point with the Legion of Doom, if it's
It's
not
over.
Hawk and Animal, I never
It's
care.
over. Yeah, it's over.
And again, I said it before. I can't stress it enough. I hated that whole storyline with what they used Hawkins' alcoholism and doing that stupid
That
Titantron
whole
stuff. That was garbage.
the whole Attitude Era Legion of Doom was garbage. From
It
them
was
getting their asses whipped by DX, it was just
especially the New Age Outlaws getting their
yeah,
heads shaved and all of that.
yeah.
Because real actuality, if you look at the actual Road Warriors, the New Age Outlaws, there's no way that the Road
No,
Warriors are getting their ass kicked by them. Even though I did like the feud, I didn't like what was done to them. Next thing on there was they showed last Friday on Raw, Taker trying to put Kane in a body bag so the men in the white coats can grab him. Austin hits Taker with a shovel. This was actually pretty funny. I got a kick
it
out of
was.
this.
This is just over the top, man. It gets more and more over the top with Ministry Undertaker.
Yes, it does. It really, really does.
Yeah.
Taker loaded in the ambulance. Paul Bearer thinks it's Kane, but it's
Oh
not.
my god. And
Kane and Austin are kind of teaming here.
yes, yeah. It's like
He's patting him on the back, like, "See, I told you."
the unholy alliance. They threw Paul Bear down the sewer, right?
I loved it. I loved it. They threw him down. I'm surprised he fit.
Yeah, seriously.
I was waiting for him to stick.
It's like in Ninja Turtles 2 when
Yes.
was it which one was Toka, which one was Razor? I always forget which one's which. The turtle, the giant turtle. You remember he gets stuck in the when he goes on there.
And they
Yeah.
it's a shame that they didn't go with Bebop and Rocksteady, but Toka and Razor, whatever.
Yeah.
So that whole thing was good, and then of course Michael Cole interviewed the Undertaker about the whole thing with Austin. I'm telling you, this is boiling over, and it's going to culminate with the Buried Alive match that's coming up in a few weeks. So next match on the card, we've got Goldust versus Val Venus with this whole rivalry thing going on. Terry announcing that she's pregnant. Well, and Val, kicking her to the curb. This whole "I got a vasectomy" BS, and then she tried to get back at Goldust, but Goldust kicked her to the curb. This is pretty much where PMS gets born.
This
Because
is
remember,
all.
Jacqueline was kicked to the curb too by Mero, and so these two are forming an alliance to stay relevant.
This
But
is
I
all
mean, this
Vince
whole
Russo. This is all Russo stuff
yes,
too.
it has his name written all over it.
Mhm.
So, and during the match, I mean, Goldust was going for Shattered Dreams, but Val pulled the referee in front of him. At least this wasn't like Survivor Series where he tried to go for it. Ref's going to disqualify him type thing. This time, Val knew. Oh, let me just throw the ref in there. What the hell? Um, Val rolled up Goldust for a pin, and that's pretty much how this ended. He won the battle but lost the war because of that. Goldust actually did get the Shattered Dreams on Val and left all with smiles on his face. So good for him. But this whole storyline is just totally gone chaotic. So next on there, they showed Vince McMahon speaking at Oxford University. Oh Lord, of course, and then Vincent, and his entourage came out now at this point, and Patterson announced that The Rock is no longer fighting Triple H on this event. Helmsley will be facing Jeff Jarrett, which is you told me the only time that you've traded.
Yeah, I was rooting. Yeah, I was rooting. I was actually rooting for Triple H now.
And you know what? Not to get off sidetrack, but it was an actual good. It was a good match.
Yeah, no, it was fun.
I will give it that. But
Yeah,
now they're saying that Rock will face X Pac. I don't know why, but okay.
that's a Monday Night Raw match.
Yeah, it is. And of course, Briscoe and Shane talking about this whole Vinnie Jones thing, and then Vince is mocking London and everything. And of course, this is not going to be the last time we're going to see Vinnie Jones. He's going to be interviewed later on, and then he's going to come out during the main event.
I think Regal was supposed to be on this pay per view too, and I think he got fired right before this.
Yeah, because he would have been. Matter of fact, he would have been good for this next match because they only used.
He was going to fight X Pac. He was originally scheduled to fight X Pac.
The rematch.
Yeah.
It would have been good if he fought our next. I think next in our next match because this guy only was used when they went overseas. You never saw him on Monday Night Raw. You never saw him on anything else other than this, and that's Edge facing Tiger Ali Singh. Piece of trash.
Apparently, his father was like a somebody, and
yes,
you're right.
It's like Stan Stasiak, and that's where Tiger
and he had
and his father is.
He had somehow convinced Vince and company that his son was like really, really over, and I guess that market, I think in India, I believe, and come to find out the guy was no good.
No, and that's the only time they used him is when they were over there.
He sued the company too. He ends up suing them years later.
Well, he grabs the mic and says that he will rule his opponent and whatever. So Edge comes out through the crowd. This is where they're still cheering for him. And what I can't understand is why he got over on this match.
He got over, yeah.
I don't understand that.
He goes over on Edge. Think about that.
Edge went off the top rope. Tiger grabbed him into a power slam, and he got the pin. And his feet were on the ropes. So Tiger Ali Singh gets the victory over Edge. And afterwards, Tiger attacked Edge, but then Edge fought back. That's just to say this is going to be a feud. But no, you're really not going to see this guy. Occasionally on a house show through 1998 into 99, they might have used him. But ultimately, if there was they went on these overseas tours, that's the only time they used him. Thank God, because he was a piece of trash. He was garbage.
He was supposed to be like the $1 million man,
Stasiak,
right?
Yeah,
supposed to be like sort of
trying to be,
man, not quite.
I would take Sean Stasiak over him any day.
Well, it's not saying much, but yeah,
that's how bad he is. So following that, now Michael Cole interviewed Vinnie Jones. Crowd going nuts. I love Vinnie Jones. I think I liked him in. You've seen the movie Condemned with Steve Austin.
I never saw that.
When they were on the island and they had to kill.
I know the movie, but I never.
Oh man, you got to see that. It's really good. Vinnie Jones is in it, and it comes down to the two of them.
He was in Snatch, right? Wasn't he? Wasn't he in Snatch?
Yeah, he was in Snatch, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, National Lampoon's Euro Trip. He was in that. But yeah, if you ever get the chance, watch Condemned. That's a really good movie. So, and then he wants to knock Vince and Shane out. Please do it. I would have liked to see that kind of promo match done there that night, but they didn't.
He's a famous football player over there, so
very
obviously he was going to be over with the crowd.
Oh, huge! And he said he would fight any superstar, and he's going to be sitting ringside for the main event. Mainly, it was going to be the big boss man of all people. It had to be him, but whatever. Poor boss man over the last few weeks, man. I just feel so bad for him. He's just looking really bad at this point.
been rough.
considering what we remember seeing from him. So next on the card, well, actually, following that, they showed 2 weeks ago of what happened between Mark Merrow getting rid of Jacqueline, and then on Raw, he said if he couldn't beat Dwayne Gill, he would leave the WWF. He lost the match thanks to the Blue Meanie, who's trying to get into the WWF at this point. Now, technically, and Ross had said this was his last contractual match in England that he would have to face. Merrow actually left in '99, same time around with Sable. It's funny because he had 3 years left on his contract when he left. And him and Sable just they decided to just bounce. He did. I didn't remember this because I had checked out in 2000, like you checked out in WCW pretty much in '99. He did show up on Nitro in 2000, but he was like, "I'm not sticking around for this shit." It's like I'm done. Goodbye. But it's a shame that he left. But again, they're doing nothing to him, and 1998 was a pure embarrassment for him. So, despite the fact that he kicked Jacqueline to the curb, still has to team with her tonight as it's Christian and Sable versus Mark Merrow and Jacqueline. I believe we saw this at SummerSlam only with Edge in the match. Why are we still doing this?
Still going on.
Ah, my God. At this point, it's getting redundant that they keep doing this. And of course, before the match, Jacqueline attacks Mark Merrow. So, obviously these two aren't getting along. Jacqueline at first wouldn't tag into the match. So Merrow's pretty much having to fight a handicap match here. Finally, she did. Merrow was leaving the match. He figured he'd let Jacqueline get screwed over, but Christian, chased him down and whatever. While he's doing that, Sable TKOs Jacqueline and gets the pin. Now, this is where it gets interesting. And for anybody that has the Capital Carnage VHS tape, you know what I'm talking about, and you still have the copy. After the match, Jacqueline attacked the referee, wound up somehow on his shoulders, and Sable grabbed her shirt and it ripped off. And hello, London, it's tea time. Now, I don't know if this was an accident or what.
It was on purpose.
Exactly, because you see how she was wearing that shirt?
Yeah.
You could tell, especially if you look on the side, and I'm not trying to be a pervert, I'm looking at the match. You can kind of see she's wearing nothing under the shirt, so we're going for something here.
It's because it was in the UK and nudity is a little bit more acceptable over there.
Except on Peacock, we have to edit it out. Well, they blurred it out, but that's why I said if you have the tape,
well, you just Google it.
It's on it. Yeah,
or just Google.
I'm sure that tape is only worth like 75 cents now after 25 years. Yeah, exactly. I think I bought it off a video store. Was getting rid of their stuff at the time. So, but anyway, that was the interesting part of the match. So Mark Merrow is pretty much done at this point. Like I said, he leaves in 1999. Sable soon to follow, unfortunately. But Jacqueline would find a way to stay on. Like I said, she started the whole PMS thing with Terry. So next on the card, we have the Intercontinental Championship, Ken Shamrock defending against Steve Blackman. Now, this should have been a good match on here because these two guys had a great feud.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you had the Boss Man come down and kind of mess it up. Now, granted, I knew, Steve Blackman's not being the Intercontinental Champion.
No.
Not when Shamrock is on this role. Just turn heel, part of the corporation. He's going to keep the IC title. But just the way they did it, I thought was cheesy. And of course, Blackman, with a baseball slide, kind of hit Boss Man. He kind of missed it a little bit. Boss Man grabbed his baton at that point. When Blackman went against the rope, he hits him in the ankle. Shamrock capitalizes on that and puts him in the ankle lock submission, and that's how he wins the match. Shamrock wins by submission and retains the IC title. Following this, now that Shamrock and Boss Man will have their sights set on the tag team titles. So the Intercontinental title is not enough for him. But it was at least good to see Boss Man get some gold. Because remember, his first one, he had nothing.
That's true, yeah.
So he got embarrassed, but he got some gold. And at this point now, he was also the hardcore champion as well.
No, jeez.
That's not saying much either.
Not really.
Next match on the card, for you, it's a main event. Triple H versus Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
He broke 6,000 guitars and never drew a dime. When Jeff Jarrett came out, you could have wrapped this on cotton.
Except in UK, they like these two guys. I don't understand why. But Triple H just coming off the knee surgery. He did you a favor. He took out your boy, which is, I'm glad. Then China eventually will do the same thing to him. I thought this was funny during the match how Deborah's getting involved. Finally, China couldn't take it, and I'm like, China, just do to her what you did to Marlena when you first showed up. Just shake her like a
Yeah.
freaking rag doll. I'm surprised she didn't. And several times Deborah got involved in the match. China going after her. Now Deborah's distracting Triple H at this point. In the ring, trying to show how sexy she is and whatnot. He's not buying the BS. Meanwhile, Jarrett at this time is grabbing a chair to sneak into the ring and hit him with it. China took it away from him, and Helmsley, he gives the DX salute to Deborah, who gets all pissed off, followed by a pedigree to her boy, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley gets the victory. So congratulations, DX, on getting the first
Thank you.
win tonight. Yes, say it again.
Thank you, Triple H. Thank you. Thank you. Thank God.
We're gonna keep that on file.
Yeah.
Anytime he has a match, we're gonna put that in there. Thank you, Triple H. So DX would have two other matches going on tonight as well. So following that, now Michael Cole interviewed Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's funny because he's talking about the camaraderie he had with Kane. He goes, "What we did one little thing." He goes, "You get in the ring, I'll kick his ass." He goes, "Now get out of here. You're starting to piss me off." He goes, "We're not friends. We never will be. We have a common enemy."
This was good stuff.
Honestly, I don't know about you, but after King of the Ring, I did want another pay-per-view one-on-one match between these two in 1998. I just think it was unfinished business between the two of them in the ring, and I think they should have did it one more time because King of the Ring was a great match for Kane against Austin. I love that feud. When Kane was unstoppable and Austin was a champ, I just thought they should have did it one more time. And then, of course, they show the footage of D'Lo Brown in London. London's favorite person. He says he has an office in Buckingham Palace, and Queenie, he lost his key. It was all garbage. I don't understand why they did that, but whatever. It is what it is. Moving on to the next match is for the WWF Tag Team Championship. New Age Outlaws versus D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. This is also becoming redundant because this is all they pretty much be facing anymore. Because at this point, tag teams have kind of gone down a little bit. I think DOA is out at this point, just about. You don't have Legion of Doom is not tag team title worthy. So I mean, the Acolytes haven't been formed yet. The Hardys really are not in line. Edge and Christian aren't in line. So it's a little weak at this point, but it would get better. The match itself was blah. Like I said, they fought at Survivor Series. It was a triple threat match. That match wasn't really that well because it was done with just winning by pile driver for Billy Gunn at that point. And look what happens a week and a half later. Billy Gunn with a pile driver, almost botched, by the way, on D'Lo Brown, and he gets the pin, and the New Age Outlaws are still the tag team champions.
Tag team champions of the world.
Love that. I love that. I don't care what anybody says. I love that line. If you don't like the New Age Outlaws, at least you like the opening segment, the intro they do, yeah. But their days are pretty much numbered almost with the tag team titles because pretty soon Bossman and Shamrock are going to win them, and the Outlaws are going to split up briefly for singles gold. I have no idea why they did that. So, moving on. The next segment, they showed a video package on The Rock on how he became champion, the whole thing, how Vince was targeting him, and he had to win his way into Survivor Series against Mark Henry. This was all a great
it was a good story. Yeah.
Yes, this was very well done. All the way to Mankind getting screwed at Survivor Series, The Rock winning the title. So now our next match on the card is for the WWF Championship. The Rock with his first pay-per-view title defense against X-Pac.
Against X-Pac. Yeah.
Of all the people, this is the guy.
I don't know. I mean, this X-Pac's a good wrestler. I mean, he could wrestle. It's just that it didn't really make sense for him to get a title shot on a pay-per-view, But
well, they showed how 2 weeks ago Michaels took the chair from The Rock and hit X-Pac with it. So there was kind of a little bit of a storyline going there. Of course, it would have been nice if Shawn Michaels was in this match. That would have been great. His back hurts, but he could swing a chair with no problem. This is where he became the corporate commissioner.
Yeah.
And kind of turned his back on DX.
Right, for a little while, and then
you couldn't tell one day from the next what they were doing. Like, okay, you're with your boys, they kicked your ass.
And then there was no payoff for all of that.
No, not until 2002, and by that point there was no DX.
Yeah.
So, but in any event, The Rock, grabbed the title and the mic, says he calls the shots during this match. He was out of there. Triple H and China came down, which I would have loved to see this match. Unfortunately, we didn't, but we're going to get plenty of that in
Right, yeah.
2000. Oh my God.
Well, 90. How about 99?
Yes.
Rockin' Triple H.
When
Yeah.
Triple H finally, gets a little bigger, don't ask how
Yeah.
that happened
Yeah.
overnight. But like I said, real quick, because we're going to be doing this on the next Survivor Series, my favorite pay-per-view main event would have been at Survivor Series 99. It would have been Austin,
Hmm.
Triple H, Rock.
Right.
I loved it.
At that point, yes. At that
And
point,
then,
they were all on
yes.
fire. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Austin got hurt and they did the
Right.
storyline and they moved Big Show. And my dream match was just really.
Yeah,
So
man. It's just
it is what it is. But anyway, back to the match. Triple H distracting the referee. Rock went for the rock bottom, but China low blows him. They're really trying everything they can during this match to help X-Pac get the victory. Um, Pretty much, at this point, Rock pushed China. Later on in the match, and that Triple H snapped and attacked the Rock. Referee saw it, so X-Pac gets disqualified, and the Rock retains the WWF Championship. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, it's weird to see X-Pac getting a title shot, but the match wasn't bad.
no, it was good. Good
Bringing
match.
DX into it kind of helped. I'm not saying the man should be in the main event status by
Right.
any no. I'm not going to shit all over the match and saying, oh, a mid card guy, European champion, shouldn't be there. No, I think on this night it was warranted because of the storyline that was going on with these two guys. So decent match, and The Rock retains the title, but not in the main event.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why this wasn't the main event. I mean, maybe if it was Triple H, maybe it would have
It
been the main
possibly
event,
could
but
have
because
been the
they
main
changed
event.
it, I guess they put the other match.
What would have been interesting is if they even went with a fatal five way.
That
Put
might
all four of those guys
that
against
might
The
have been a little
Rock
too much. That might have been a little too much, though.
back then. Well, yeah, they weren't doing five
Uh,
ways yet.
uh,
So plus, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I can actually see, yeah, that would be too much, especially the role that all these guys are on. So speaking of that, we're on to our main event, the Fatal 4-Way match. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Undertaker versus Kane versus Mankind. As if we haven't seen Mankind and Taker enough. Austin
here we
and
go again. Yeah.
Taker. Yeah, it's just another pay-per-view. Now, before the match, it was announced that the special guest ring announcer would be Shane McMahon.
Hmm.
The special guest timekeeper would be Pat Patterson. Special guest referee Gerald Briscoe. Special guest commentator Vince McMahon, who
Vince
went
back
back
on
to his old Monday Night Raw,
his
which I
roots.
kind of liked
Yeah, yeah, it was
because
actually it was
he was
good.
acting like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
old
yeah,
Vince, which I was like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, it's nice. It's nice to hear that
it
for
was
a
funny.
minute.
It was funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, the special enforcer for the match, the Big Boss Man. Yeah, you look at Boss Man, you're going to enforce these four guys. Yeah, okay, buddy. And of course, Vinny Jones now comes out
Hmm.
during all of this, pushes the Boss Man out of the ring. Briscoe gives Jones a red card. Oh, jeez, that was cheesy. Just happens to have a red card on him for this. And then, of course, Shane announced that Vinny Jones has been ejected from ringside. And even while he's getting out, Briscoe's still pulling the card out, showing it to him. It's like, okay, whatever. It's cheesy, but it's kind of funny. So during the match, I mean, Kane and Mankind get into the ring first, and they didn't even wait. They just started beating the crap out of each other. And then, of course, here comes The Undertaker. Here comes Austin. Taker met him down the aisle. We've seen this before during a pay per view. They did the same thing. This match just went everywhere. Crowd, down the aisle, every which way you can imagine. It was despite the fact that we've seen this all of 1998. It was a really good match.
Yeah, it was still fun. Yeah.
It was still fun to see. Austin stunned Kane. Briscoe wouldn't count the three. That's typical. Um, Austin then hits him. Taker covered Austin, but another referee came down. Mankind breaks it up. We got the chaos going on. Austin stunned Kane, and finally he gets the pin on him when I believe it was Earl Hebner that came down, and he gets the 3 count. So Austin wins the match against these three guys. After the match, Vinny Jones comes back out. He kicked Boss Man, and Austin stunned him as well. Like I said, poor Boss Man over the last few weeks,
Yeah, he's
man. This
not.
guy's just, I don't know whose flower bed he shit in, but I mean, it's just not going right for him. Then Hebner attacked the Boss Man, And afterwards, Briscoe attacked Hebner, Austin, Hebner, and Jones all toasting beers. I love when Hebner did it with Austin. It was always great. Hebner always had that spunk in him,
It
like
was
don't
fun. It
mess
was
with me.
fun.
Any wrestler pushed him, especially Triple H. You push him, he's gonna push you back. You don't care. And I was waiting for Austin to stun Vinny Jones, but we
Not
didn't get
yeah,
it.
no, 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 not over there.
No, he didn't, because he would have really come off as a heel on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So Steve Austin wins the match. Vinny Jones gets some toasting of the beers along with Hebner. So the card ended well. It was a little lackluster, but the main
Yeah, it
event
was.
was strong.
Yeah, the main
But
event was fun.
it's a London pay per view. It's not like
Yeah,
in your house. So, but we are getting ready in your house. We'll be pretty good. Rocking Mankind, Austin and Taker. Austin wins. He gets to go into the 1999 Royal
mhm,
Rumble.
yeah.
So,
All right. Well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
take care.